Marriage matters. Pastoral care for all couples and families. This is not the first time the Presbyterian Church and the Christian Communion and society in the United States, or even the global conversation, has been about who gets to fall in love, who gets to be recognized as a couple, who gets the opportunity to get married. I trust you're familiar with, of course, two remarkable people. Richard and Mildred Loving. It's a story from the late 1950s, and it's hard to imagine that there were laws on the books that did not allow heterosexually oriented couples of different races to marry. They were called miscegenation laws. On the 40th anniversary of the Supreme Court decision that struck down those bad, unjust, immoral, and I believe un-Christian kinds of barriers and laws, Mildred said this: "I am still not a political person, but I am proud that Richard's and my name is on a court case that can help reinforce the love, the commitment, the fairness, and the family that so many people, black or white, young or old, gay or straight, seek in life. I support the freedom to marry for all." And listen to what she said. "That's what loving, capital L, and loving, small l, are all about." That's what loving and loving are all about. Four individuals will begin to speak about their experience, their hopes for our church. There are, as you know, overtures about marriage equality being debated right now, this very minute, in Committee 13. We're so grateful to have Reverend Hyman Peterson, pastor of Central Presbyterian Church in Kansas City, Missouri; Reverend David Ensign, pastor of Clarendon Presbyterian Church in Clarendon, Virginia; Reverend Will McGarvey, pastor of Community Presbyterian Church in Pittsburgh, California; and Eric Thomas, soon to be one of those reverends, student at Johnson C. Smith Theological Seminary at the International Theological Center, Atlanta, Georgia. So they will share some of their thoughts and reflections, and then there are a couple other folks that I'm going to invite to come forward, and then we'll move to a time of question and answer.
Senior at the Johnson C. Smith Theological Seminary in Georgia, and that's why I speak on behalf of a seminarian's experience at the General Assembly with regard to marriage equality. And I'm not sure if seminary prepares you for General Assembly or if General Assembly prepares you for seminary. And so I guess I'll start with my hope. My overarching hope is that the Presbyterian Church and the Church with the big C would just be what it says that it is. Would just be what it says that it is. As a senior, I prepared for ordination examinations, and we're marking down the classes that we've taken, and we learn things like ecclesia, both in our Greek class and in our biblical interpretation class and in systematic theology. That comes to have a meaning. When we learn things about like mutual forbearance and the church in its unity in our polity classes, that has a certain kind of meaning. And as we prepare to not only point out all of the citations in our Constitution and our confessions where these things are active, and then answer questions pastorally, it's surreal to sit in some of these rooms and wonder, did these people take the same location? Like, really, it is surreal. And Dr. Ron Peters tells this story for the past couple of graduations about his mother saying to him, I can't hear what you're saying from seeing what you're doing. I can't hear what you're saying for seeing what you're doing. And so I'll go back to ecclesia and mutual forbearance and church and its unity and that brief statement of faith, that wonderful part where in a broken and fearful world, the Spirit gives us the power to unmask idolatries in church and in the world. I mean, that's what brief statement of faith, 10-4 is where I'm just saying that this is what the Presbyterian Church USA alleges. And so I'm looking forward to the day that the church really lives into what it says that it is. I also, as a person who is partnered in a 6-year relationship to my beloved girls, I speak to you with a bit of privilege. I understand that because New York is my home, I can get married whenever I want to. And because New York is my home, if a few of my favorite Presbyterians who are in the room wouldn't marry me, there would be a couple of people in New York who would. But I also have to stand in solidarity with seminarians who are oppressed by their geography. They live places with hostile presbyteries. They live places, they go to school in seminaries that could be hostile environments. They go to churches that are not necessarily this opening and welcoming kind of thing. And so while I can enjoy the fact that we can get married tomorrow, that there are those who are my sisters and my brothers who are depending on this assembly to do what it says that the church is. I don't think that it's a matter of if, I think it's a matter of when. And I hope that it's now.